The morning air was sharp, carrying the bitter scent of charred metal as I stepped onto my porch, coffee mug warming my hands. My police bike, the one that had carried me through wildfires and high-stakes chases, lay in the driveway like a gutted animal, its frame blackened and twisted. This was no accident. Across the street, Linda Carver sat in her golf cart, sipping wine at 8 a.m., her eyes glinting like she was watching a show. I could have marched over and slapped cuffs on her right then, but where's the thrill in that when she didn't even know who I was? 2 days earlier, I'd rolled into Pine Hollow on that bike, its engine growling as I pulled up to my grandfather's old ranch. After 15 years as a state and county sheriff, I'd come to claim my inheritancia quiet patch of land just outside the sprawling neighborhood, now choked by a homeowners association. The moment I parked, I felt it, a silence that wasn't calm, but coiled, like the hush before a snake strikes. Sure enough, Linda appeared, strutting in heels and a peach blouse so tight it seemed to whimper. She didn't introduce herself with a smile or a handshake. No, she jabbed a manicured finger at my bike and declared, "This isn't a junkyard, sir. No industrial vehicles allowed." I told her it was parked, not stored, and it was state property, not a dump truck. She scribbled on her clipboard like I'd confessed to a crime, muttering about me not being on the HOA roster, which apparently meant I had no right to my own driveway. I grinned and said I'd take it up with the board. "I saw the board," she snapped and marched off. That night, a DULA 500 fine for unauthorized vehicle storage was taped to my fence, printed on paper with an HOA logo that looked like a kid's doodle. It was marked Final Notice, though I'd never seen a first. I didn't bother replying. I just sat on my porch, sipping coffee strong enough to wake the dead, watching the stars. Then came the sound tires creeping, a spark, a hiss, and a roar that turned my blood cold. By the time I reached the driveway, my bike was an inferno, plastic melting, seat collapsing. In the fire's glow, I saw Linda's silhouette by her cart, raising her wine glass like a twisted toast before humming away. I didn't chase her. I didn't call the fire department. I stood there, watching my old partner in chrome burn to nothing. The next morning, I filed a report at the sheriff's office, keeping my badge hidden. I dug into the HOA's past and found a trail of misery. 24 harassment complaints, 2 foreclosures over technicalities, 3 small businesses driven out by daily fines. They had no legal right to half their actions, but no one had fought back. Until now, when I got home, a new sign was bolted to my property. No non-HOA members beyond this point. I stared at it, then yanked it out and tossed it onto Linda's lawn. 10 minutes later, she stormed over with 2 guys in vests, while VYing a clipboard like a weapon. She ranted about obstructing policy. I leaned against my door, silent. One guy tried to barge into my garage for a building check. I didn't budge. When Linda demanded why I was so calm, I said I'd seen worse clowns run worse circuses. She didn't laugh. That evening, I made calls. The fire chief confirmed no burn permit was issued the night my bike went up in flames. The county records office verified my ranch wasn't under HOA control, not an inch. Linda's crew was bluffing, banking on me not checking. But I wasn't here to play quick. I was here to build a home, honor my grandfather, and maybe have a little fun tearing down a bully. So I waited, letting them think they had me cornered. They slapped a DULA 2000 fine on my mailbox for vehicle code violations and missing HOA meetings I'd never been invited to. It was laughable, except it wasn't. This was about power, about Linda's web of fear strangling anyone who didn't bow. At the feed store, an old-timer named Gus pulled me aside. He remembered my grandfather's hay deliveries before Linda turned Pine Hollow into her fiefdom 5 years ago. She'd banned wind chimes, ticketed a family for an unapproved American flag, even dictated driveway usage. One guy, a retired Marine named Carl, fought back. They cut his irrigation, towed his truck into a ditch. He sold his place and left. Linda called it community restoration. Gus's eyes darkened as he whispered, "She watches everyone." Sure enough, I spotted her golf cart idling outside, humming like a predator. When my water line was shut off with a note about irrigation guidelines, I laughed. My well wasn't theirs to touch. I turned it back on and dug deeper, scanning the original HOA charter. My ranch was outside their bounds. Every fine was a fraud. I filed a complaint with the county, contacted the state housing authority, and set up hidden trail cameras. That night, two figures, Linda's son, Ethan, and her husband, Mark, sprayed paint on my garage and pinned another notice. The cameras caught their faces clear as day. They didn't know the noose was tightening. The town was waking up. At the diner, I met Clarence, a former treasurer who'd lost his home to illegal HOA fines. His car was towed as abandoned, Leah VYing and broken. He handed me the original HOA charter, VYing Linda's overreach. At the print shop, the owner recalled Linda's secretive orders, including a fake county seal on a cease and desist letter. Then I found the jackpot. A landscaping company that didn't exist, paid with HOA funds, registered to Linda's sister. Fraud, plain and simple. The breaking point came when a fake inspector, Nate, showed up for a mold check. I called the sheriff's office, flashed my badge, and had him arrested for impersonating an officer. Linda arrived, screaming I had no right. I leaned in and said, "I'm Sheriff Tom Harlan." Her face froze, like a machine short-circuiting. She stammered, then fled. I fed the story to a local news station, VY Deos, fake notices, the charter. The 6 p.m. broadcast tore Linda's empire apart. Neighbors flooded my phone with stories. A disabled man fined for his medical van. A couple nearly bankrupted by false credit reports. A garden raised over a fence dispute. That night, I hosted a meeting in my barn. 40 people came, their anger and fear spilling out. I showed the EVY Denke, doctored maps, shell companies, stolen funds. They clapped not for me, but for the truth. We filed a collective lawsuit, 40 signatures strong. Linda sent frantic emails, accusing me of privacy violations. I forwarded them to the county. She posted a flyer claiming I wasn't a real sheriff. It only made her look desperate. The county investigator arrived, calling my EVY Denke the tightest VY Lien case he'd seen. The news story aired, showing my camera footage and resident testimonies. Linda's house went dark. AMO VYing truck appeared, but she was just pretending to pack, clinging to control. At the housing board hearing, I laid out the case in my sheriff's uniform. VY Deos, maps, invoices. The HOA was dissolved, fines voided, Linda's fraud sent to the DA. She was sentenced to community SARE VYC, starting with scrubbing my garage, plus probation and frozen assets. The courtroom exhaled years of fear. Pine Hollow changed. Neighbors waved, laughed, planted flowers without permits. The HOA office became a community hall for potlucks and kids' parties. Linda finished her SARE VYC and slunk out of town, her house empty, a crooked for sale sign on the lawn. The county gave me a new bike, its plate etched with my name. A letter arrived, and signed, but in Linda's handwriting. I thought I was protecting the neighborhood. I didn't know how much I hurt people. Take care of it. I tucked it away. Her guilt wasn't my burden. The town threw a party at the hall, with pies and dancing. An old man toasted, "You reminded us we've got a spine." I said it wasn't just me. As I walked my land under the stars, the scars were healing. Kids painted a post where my bike burned. Ride forward always. Storms would come, but Pine Hollow was ready. Some fires don't destroy, they burn lies to ash. Leah VYing truth standing tall. What do you think? Was I too soft on Linda, letting her squirm instead of arresting her outright? Should the town have pushed for harsher punishment? Or was public humiliation enough? Could you stand up to a bully like her? Or would fear keep you silent? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're with me, and subscribe for more stories where truth fights back.